Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. This video is going to be a short little run through one of the Google Code Labs that are out there for Cloud Run. Now, Cloud Run is one of the technologies that they have for basically deploying containers to their platform and then automatically running things with that. So what we're going to be doing is going through a Node.js application for screenshotting web pages, something where if you are maybe a web developer or something like that, and you want to screenshot your website in various forms, or if you just want to scrape the web, whatever you want to do with it. It is a pretty straightforward little application where we can tweak it a little bit as well to make things interesting. So let me pop over to our stuff here. So I've got the page for Cloud Run up, and I'll pop the link in the description as usual, but basically just kind of worth a little read through about what it does, what you can do with it. Basically, all we're doing in this little quick demo is pulling down a existing Git repository, which honestly is a pretty straightforward little Node.js application. It runs Puppeteer to basically launch a virtual browser and screenshot a page and saves it to cloud storage, which is neat too. There is a couple of caveats with this lab, though. I will also pop this in the description as well. There is no cleanup guide for this one, so most code labs and, obviously the quick labs we've done too will automatically clean up, or they'll give you a way to handle that. I will write the way to clean things up in the description as well for you all. The quick ahead is that I've got it off screen here. That's what I'm looking at. Um, you're going to be creating buckets. You're going to be creating tasks. You're going to be updating the artifact registry. And all you really need to do is kind of walk backwards and just delete all of those things. Nothing really too crazy or account depleting, if you will, but just something to be aware of because otherwise you're going to have these jobs that are just constantly running and then wonder where your credits went when they keep running over and over and over again. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I've got my Cloud Shell up and running here. So it's my Google Console, Google Cloud Console. I opened up the Cloud Shell, so we see that down here. It took a few minutes to open, that's why I did that first. And then here is the code lab that we're going to run through. So as always, make sure you read through the introduction description. I've run through this a few times, so I'm going to kind of skip through it. For class, again, I'll keep reminding you this, you don't need to make use of the free tier or anything like that because we have credits. Don't activate, use your project that you already have, or create a new one for it. But, just kind of something that's obviously worth reading through as you go. So here's everything that we're going to be doing, which is effectively what I've already talked about. So let's go ahead and get set up. So I've got my project already set. I don't need to create a new one. You are going to need to make note of the ID for your cloud app. So I'm going to go ahead and copy mine down there. And the only reason why we need to do that is that there are some environment variables we need to set. So just kind of scooting through here, we have our Cloud Shell up and running, which is good. Now, probably not strictly necessary. Actually, I'm trying to remember if they even make use of this later on, now that I think of it. Because they set the region, they set the project ID in the Cloud Shell, and I'm trying to see, maybe I'll use the region. Okay, so we do use it later on. Just wanted to make sure that this was actually an activity that was worth doing. But all right, so let's go ahead and say project ID equals, oops, got a space in there. So there's my project ID, and then we're going to set our region equals US Central 1. Good enough, close enough. And then basically all we just need to do is set the Cloud Shell to use that. And okay, set our project ID, set our region. We already had it set, so that's kind of redundant. The region's probably useful, but the ID we already had by merit of having a project open and then launching Cloud Shell. Again, your mileage may vary if you watch this video a year in advance and things have changed. Keeps you on your toes. Other things we need some APIs enabled. So we need the Artifact Registry, which is going to be where we push our Docker containers to. We're going to need Cloud Build to build the application, and then Cloud Run to execute the application. You may or may not have these already set, just kind of depends on where you are at in class and what you have been doing. These should already be active for me, but it's worth running anyway just to make sure so that we don't have any surprises later on. Okay, Next up, we need to clone down their repo. So again, I'm going to kind of skim through the code. I'll let you read through what's going on here, but it's a very, very straightforward Node.js application. Screenshot.js is the actual Node app. So if we were to go ahead and let's go into jobs demos, Screenshot is going to be the one that we use. There are some other things in here too as well. I haven't really touched them at all, but if we look at screenshot.js, we see it's going to talk to Puppeteer, which again is going to launch a browser for us, talk to cloud storage, and then basically, by merit of some command line arguments, it just takes a screenshot of a page and pops it up to one of our storage buckets. Excuse me. And not too terrible of a Node application, all things being considered. So let's go ahead and go back to our roots. But yeah, we have a Docker file in there as well so that we can create a Docker image, push it up to the Artifact Registry and all that fun stuff. But yeah, explore the code. We already did. Again, read through this if you want to get a good feeling for what the Node application is doing. Docker file is very straightforward. All right, so we have our Git repository. Next step is to push it up to the artifact repo and then get it building. So we need to create a new repository up in the artifact registry. Now the command is pretty straightforward. So let me copy and paste this and then we'll talk through it. So I'm going to run the gcloud command. We're going to tie it with the artifacts. We're going to create a repository. It is a Docker repo and we are putting it in US Central 1, which is our current region that we have. So we're going to go ahead and run that. Already exists. I forgot to delete this repo. Okay, well this is going to be fun because I could have sworn that I deleted this already. Let's go ahead and see what I've got going on here. Hello. Okay. There's nothing there. Why is it saying, does it not like the fact that there's a... Oh, I guess I didn't delete the full repo. Okay, something else I need to tack on to my and repo. I've got, again, my notes over here. Let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, good. So I forgot to delete the actual repository before, so my cleanup guide that I wrote for myself was not enough. But if you see an error like this, it means you already have a repo up in the Artifact Registry, which is fine. Okay, so if we go ahead and refresh this now, we should see my repository pop up. This is really slow. There it is. Okay, so we have a repo. Good. Now, let's take our repo, give it a hello? Hey, my computer's frozen. Sweet. I will be right back. So Google Chrome just froze up on me. Not sure why. I'm not really doing anything, but maybe my streaming software is to blame. Okay, so where we were, we created a repository up in Google Cloud. Now we need to go ahead and push our project up to that, up to cloud build so that it will build and then be put in the artifact registry. So this command here, again, gcloud command, we're going to talk to Google Cloud build. We're going to submit our Docker file for this particular project up there, and we want it to be the screenshots app. So let's go ahead and do that. Docker file required. Did I not copy something? Oh, I am not in the right folder. I went up too far. So let's go into jobs. Let's try this again. Docker file required. Do I need to be in screenshot? Okay. I must have missed a step in the cloud web or the code web because I'm just kind of talking and doing the code. Did I skip a step? I did. I forgot to CD in. Okay, those of you yelling at the screen while I was talking, that's what I did wrong. Okay, so if you get an error submitting your Docker file to Cloud Build, make sure you're in the correct directory. So now we see things happening over here. And if we go up into our containers, we should see things pop up once this is done. Might even, no, it's not going to be there yet. Okay, yeah, we have to get it built first. So while that is percolating, let's go ahead and look at the next step. So we, at this point, have a repo. We have our Docker container up and running in theory. Should be good. Now we're going to create jobs to actually run. So again, the workflow here, Artifact Registry will hold the repo. Cloud Build is going to take the Docker file and build the application. Run is going to execute it. And we can have Cloud Run execute in a job-based format where it's kind of a recurring type of thing if we want. So if I wanted like a screenshot of my website every single day at midnight because I've got users pushing content to it, I could say, take a screenshot, upload it to my bucket, maybe give myself an email to say, hey, here's what's been going on since then. So this is still going. Other things we're going to need. We're going to need a service account for our job. Why does this keep freezing on me? Oh my goodness. I might have to pause here in a moment again to refresh things, or heck, maybe even restart my computer. But yeah, there is nothing going on this page that's going to cause it to be unresponsive, by the way. Yeah, service accounts are going to be something which are absolutely critical to understand. You want a service account for pretty much everything that you do. Like ideally, obviously, we haven't really been doing that too much, but it allows you to really fine-tune permissions and all that fun stuff. Okay, so things have been built appropriately. Let's go ahead and refresh over here. Here's our screenshot app, and you're still frozen, so let's just go ahead and cancel you and create a new window again. Woohoo! Perfect. So if I did everything right before, I should have no service account. Do I have that in my notes? That's a good question. Delete service account. I didn't put that up. There's a lot of things we have to clean up that I didn't quite catch. Okay, so let's go ahead and new tab. Let's go to service accounts. Again, a lot of this kind of wandering around Google Cloud and figuring things out as I go. I really like doing these demos and recording them for the first time for you because some of the issues that I will see, you will probably see too. And rather than the super cleaned up version where everything's perfect, I like it when you see things breaking because you can figure out how to fix them. I already have a service account for this particular code web, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it so that we don't have any issues later on. If you have things that you have done where you've created service accounts for them and you no longer need them, probably worth getting rid of those as well so that you don't have kind of rogue accounts that are available for other people to take over. So let's create our service account. And we're going to see that we get that. Should pop back up in here once we refresh. Again, this is the service accounts page. There it is. Okay, and now let's go ahead and give it some access. So we are giving it access to this project ID. It is a storage admin. It's a member of the service account project. And there's the actual ID of it. Okay. Good. Okay, I hopefully cut out the cursing, but it froze on me again. Not sure what's going on. Maybe we're Bitcoin mining in this code lab. Okay, what we are doing here is creating a Cloud Run job. So basically what we're going to go ahead and do here is create a job for the screenshot app. Here is the image for the Docker container that we just built. The arguments are going to be what it accepts as input to screenshots. So these two websites here basically are what you're going to see. We'll add on an extra one as well. Give it 5 minutes to run, if not bail out. And then here is where we're going to dump it in terms of our bucket. So let's go ahead and paste this in. Oops. Let's see, can I? Gotta go line by line. All right, so I'm going to add on an extra argument as well. I'm pretty sure I need to increment tasks. No. And another job. Okay. Delete jobs. Jobs. Cloud Run. Again, I already have an existing thing in here as well. So jobs did not get rid of, even though it says deleted. Okay, let's get rid of you. Good, 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 good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop this into Notepad, and I want to add args equals. Oh, where should we go? Let's do Stack Overflow. I think it's HTTPS, yeah. Let's go ahead and add on stackoverflow.com. And this probably means we need to change tasks to 3. So all I did was I took their command and I added on an extra argument. And I clicked something by accident there. Okay, so we should see 3 args here. And I think this tasks, let's see, so what is tasks? Does it tell us? Multiple copies of your container. Okay, so I only want 2 tasks. So I only want this to run two screenshots in parallel, I think is what that means. 2 containers run for the 2 URLs. 2 containers run for the 2 URLs. I guess we'll leave it at 3, see what happens. I haven't tried this yet. I'm just kind of free trying arguments, something always fun to do. Okay, so we create our job, which should be good. It is not going to run yet, but we see to execute this job, use this. So let's go ahead and make sure that this is actually set up. And something tells me that this lab is going to change at some point in the future because this is G-Cloud beta, not G-Cloud run. But we see our job here. Life is good to go. Now let's go ahead and actually run it. So the next command in the code lab is exactly what they say to do up here. So let's go ahead and execute it. This will just run it one time, and we should get some things up in our bucket. So let's go ahead and pop open our buckets. Buckets, cloud storage. Okay, so we should see the screenshot bucket up here. So yeah, got it. Okay, go away. It must be this Cloud Apps Artifacts one. Still going. Okay, it might not have created it yet. Let's go ahead and make this bigger. Lots of new things to kind of go through. I thought I had a screenshot bucket when I ran through this last time. That's why I'm kind of side-eyeing this thing. All right, I'm gonna come back in a moment, do some trimming of the video just while this kind of executes. It shouldn't take that long, but who knows? Hey, look at that. So this is something which you don't always get. Here is a direct link to show you the status of your job. So let's click it and see what happens. Okay, so if we go here, we actually can watch things happening. Still running. Okay, so 3 tasks are going. If I recall when I did this before, one would pass and one would fail based on execution time that was allowed. So there's 1 succeeded. Good, good. And we also have nice logs here for you to parse through if you want to try and troubleshoot things. Again, always get familiar with logging and how to read them. Okay, so that's going. And what I will do is I will come back for real this time and let you know how things went. So, BRB. Okay, so quick interlude while things are running. It's been about 5 minutes, and I just wanted to kind of point out that as we are going here, 1 succeeded, 1 failed, 1 running. So I'm waiting for that 3rd task that I took. Now, these logs constantly updating because the job execution is quite annoying, but I'm seeing that one of my jobs is exceeding the memory limit of 512 megs, which is problematic, obviously. So basically, if I wanted to fix this, I'd have to bump up the memory limit, which I haven't looked at the billing lately. However, I'm going to guess that more memory limit equals more money cost in executing. So, actually, okay, 2 failed, so it probably didn't even take a picture of my Stack Overflow. What the heck? Let's go take a look at memory limits, just for funsies. Memory usage, okay. Minimum of 512. All right. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can bump this up. 512 allocated, okay, so that's in there, so it's probably in our artifact registry. Can we edit? Screenshot. Probably a part of the Docker file now that I think about it. Let's check. Okay. Was that something that we did before when we set things up? Or can we bump it up in here? Retest. Okay, so, all right, I was just kind of wandering around in various tabs getting lost. Looks like I can go ahead and bump this. So let's try 1 gig just for fun to see what happens. Execute job immediately. Let's do that. If I get billed for this, so be it. I'll take a quick look. But I want to at least see these things pass. But while that's running, we can go ahead and pop over to our buckets. And now if we refresh, there is our, okay, perfect. Screenshot Cloud Apps Demos. And we get a screenshot of example.com. Beautiful. Now, I can't imagine why it's taking over 512 megs to take a screenshot. Maybe the Node app is just like not releasing things from memory. But let's go ahead and see how we're doing here. Anyway, I will be back once this finishes running. Probably 5 to 10 minutes, at least for me. You might have better luck, but see you in a few. So we, by bumping up to a gig, have passed all tests. So if you run into that issue, maybe try giving this a shot. Hopefully that doesn't kill your billing statement. But let's go back to our buckets now. And we still have the same one. And let's go ahead and open it up. And we see some things. So example.com, still there. And Stack Overflow, oh my. That's probably why. Okay, so I was not expecting that, but it is what it is. Oh my goodness. Yep, okay. So it is taking a picture of the entire length of the page, not just the thing that you see when you go to the browser. Most browser screenshots that I'm aware of like just take a picture of this and that's it, not the entirety of everything. That's awesome. But that's probably why it needs so much memory. Okay, makes sense. Back on track now. Let's get back to this code lab. So we have run successfully. It's like a 20-minute version in real time for me, plus execution time on top of that. So that was fun. And now what we can do is let's go ahead and look at what we have done. So there's this command for, let me clear this out, describing what you did. So here are the executions that ran. Gcloud beta run jobs executions list, and then the job we called screenshot, if you recall. So here are the 2 jobs that ran. This one passed, this one failed. And if we want to get more detail about a particular one, we can run, so let me copy just part of this. So we're going to describe, and then it is screenshot KWVSV. So I'm just looking at this title right here. Now we can get more detail about this. So here is everything that we need to know about that particular task. Perfect. And we looked at the Cloud Run page earlier, so I kind of did this a little bit out of order. Now, if you need to stop the job, you can delete it. We're going to leave it there because it's already done. And then, let's see. This is for updating. And this one I'm going to kind of skip just in the interest of time, but basically if I wanted to run the job again, maybe with different arguments. Kind of like what I did by adding on that extra argument already, in a way. But if you want to go ahead and do that, go for it. You'll get more pictures. Hopefully you actually get all of them with the extra memory increase. But the one that we really need to talk about is scheduling it. So if we wanted to go ahead and run this more than once, we need to go ahead and get the Cloud Scheduler up and running. Okay, so assuming you don't have the API activated, you need to run that. Now, let's go ahead and run this every day at 9. Okay, so we're going to create a new environment variable called project number. And what this is going to do is we are going to get basically, well, let me run this and we can actually see what it is. So let's echo project number. So here is the actual ID of our project. So G-Cloud projects describe, oh, this is a messy thing, but basically all we're doing is getting an ID here for a project. Yeah, just nice little unique ID there. So, come on, scroll over. Scroll over. Close you. It is a day today. Oh man. Not sure what's going on with Chrome, but it does not like me. I feel like I'm always complaining about something in these videos. My apologies. But let's go ahead and add in this big long list of code and talk about it. So I don't think at the point in class that this video will be posted that we'll really have talked about cron or scheduling too much. We may have if we have, good. But basically what this is doing is creating a cron job up in Google Cloud. And all that really means is that you schedule when the job will run repetitively. So which day of the week, what time of day, which day of the month, which year. I mean, basically you can kind of liken it to the Linux cron. It's the same format basically. And this command that I'm just going to kind of blank copy and paste here, we're going to create a recurring job called screenshot scheduled, and then we're going to run it every day at 9 a.m. basically. And we have some extra parameters here too for the HTTP method. So we're going to use call post here because just need to run post, I guess, for HTTP. I don't know why we need to run post, but okay. I don't think there's any form submissions that are happening. Here's the URI for what we need to actually run. Here's the service account, here's the region, and that's going to go ahead and set up the recurring job. Okay, now if we run the command here to show what we have done, we should see a recurring job. Please use the location flag. Okay, so I just tacked on -- location and the region bash variable that we set. Guessing they didn't have that requirement when this code web was written, but we see our job has been scheduled appropriately. Okay, let's go ahead and trigger it. So this is going to actually kick things off. And then we should see more things running. Please use the location flag. Sorry, will do. Okay, so we need to add on, let's see, updating my list here. Add on -- location region. Make sure I put this in the comments in the description. Okay, so we should see this running. Now, let's open one more tab, because if there's anything Chrome loves, it's more tabs. We need scheduler. And we should see, look at that, screenshot scheduled. It's going to run every day at 9 a.m. And if you want to learn more about the cron syntax, there you go. But it gives us the little highlights there. Okay, so we're not going to tweak that at all. Let's go ahead and, let's see. We should, I think, see more screenshots in here. So there's 4 right now. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh. Let's refresh the whole page. Must still be running. Okay, yep, still executing. The code lab says it will take seconds. For me, it is taking on the order of multiple minutes. Just need to be patient, I guess. But we'll see more screenshots added there. Okay, and that's the last thing we have to do. And this is where most code labs will tell you how to clean things up, because you don't want this running forever and ever and ever, right? Yeah, no guff. Okay, perfect. Let's not get frustrated at Google. There's my screenshot of Stack Overflow again. Perfect. Okay, so we have run through the lab. So we pulled down a repo, assuming that it's good and valid, which came from Google, so that's fine. I shouldn't say that, but we created the Docker container up in the Artifact Registry. We ran Cloud Build to build it. We ran Cloud Run to execute it. And then we scheduled it with Cloud Scheduler to run multiple times. So where would you use this? If you have a task where you want to containerize it and share it with the world and make it easy to execute, or share it with your organization, whoever you want to use. If you have a recurring job that you need to run and you have a nice Docker container ready for it, here you go as well. But that was only half the lab here. And I think I said at the beginning this was going to be a short video. We are now at 35 minutes of paused and started and paused and started time. So let's clean things up, because that's the important bit for me. I'm going to go ahead and close all of these tabs so that I have one nice little tab here. All right, so we need to, first and foremost, let's go pop open a new tab. Let's start by going to our scheduler. Okay. So we see the scheduled job here. Click delete. I don't want this to run every single day at 9 a.m. Perfect. Now we need to go ahead and delete the job. I want run. Cloud Run jobs. If you just search for jobs, every single product under the sun has something called jobs. Let's go ahead and delete that. I should probably at the beginning say that creating a brand new project and just blank deleting it's probably going to make your life easier. But it's kind of nice to run through this every now and again too. Okay, so we deleted the job. Missing data. Okay. Let's go ahead and refresh and make sure that it's gone. That's weird. Okay, service accounts. Let's get rid of that because we don't want a rogue account having access. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay, service account. Let's go to the Artifact Registry. Delete the container and the repo. I'm just going to delete the top level container, which should also get rid of the repo as well. Okay, you are now gone. That's the Artifact Registry. Let's go ahead and go to our buckets. Go right to buckets. Delete screenshots. So we got two buckets here actually. So this Cloud Apps demo is Cloud Build. This is basically the bucket for our actual application that we pushed up. And it's just a zipped archive. So I'm going to go ahead and delete both of them. And as you're deleting these things, make sure that you are deleting the correct thing. You don't want to accidentally delete something that it's maybe part of your term project or whatever you've got going on. All right, so we got rid of our buckets, and now let's go ahead and Cloud Build. Let's check Cloud Build. And let's get rid of this guy here. Actually, sorry, this is just the history. There's nothing in here we care about. Go back to Cloud Run again. I can't remember if I get rid of everything in there or not. Jobs, all gone. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we have anything in here. No items. Okay. So I was just describing the jobs that we executed by name, and that's all gone. Okay, I think that is everything to delete. I will drop in the description everything that you need to get rid of as well. Is there a... Can I report a mistake? Hey, look at that. I'm going to go ahead and let them know they need to get rid of their... Or they need to add cleanup instructions. Okie dokie. This is long enough. Hope you all have fun with this lab. It's kind of neat. Honestly, I'd highly recommend running through it. I might even force you to for homework. But have a great day, everybody, and I will see you next time.